So my mom was born there. I'm 100% Italian. So my my grandparents on both sides, all born there, whatever. So when I was 8, so what was that, 1978, we went there with my brother and I went with my mom and dad for the first time, and we grew up with Italian in the house, but I was just so stubborn. Like I never caught on to it. I don't speak it. It's like my biggest regret in life for sure. It's never too late. Yeah, I know, but really,
I
like you
was
have
going
to
to
do
say
it.
that.
I know, but it's almost like, you know how our brains are as kids, you're just a sponge, and it's so much easier to learn another language as a kid. Anyway, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
blah.
Hmm.
So that was it. And it was a great trip. We were there for like 6 weeks. As a kid, I just remember, we went to see everybody. So both sides of the family are there. So we did a lot of traveling around, plus seeing the sights, this and that. So then 2017, so 3 summers ago, my dad wanted to take me and my kids and my brother and his wife to Italy. Now, so I hadn't been back at that point for, what is that, 40 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
40 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, my brother and my sister-in-law couldn't go for work-related stuff. So it was me and my kids, my mom, my dad. And we were there for 3 weeks, and we just had, like, I almost get misty thinking about it. Like, it was just, it was so incredible. Like, that's my dad's happy place. It's funny because my mom was born there, but my dad would go there 6 months out of the year if he could. Like, he loves it. Loves it, loves it. My mom, she loves visiting her cousins who are really more like brothers to her, but she likes it back home. You know what I mean? So and she hates flying. So that's also another thing. But anyway, so that was 3 years ago. And then the year after that, I think 2018, it was just kind of a fluke. And my boyfriend had a business meeting in Milan. So he's like, come meet me. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Who's going to turn that down? Although I probably had a little bit of me inviting myself a little bit in there, I'm sure. I'm sure there was a little bit of that. Like, oh, wait, can I come? So anyway, so that was that time. So it was twice. Yeah, I guess it was twice in 2 years, which was a lot since I hadn't been there for so long. I did go back. It was like 1999 maybe, and the plan was to be there for 5 weeks. I was backpacking it, and the weather was super nice, so we decided to kind of change our itinerary a little bit. Instead of going to meet or visit with my family, we wanted to go to Cinque Terre, which are these little beach towns, along the coast, and just hang out at the beach for a couple days. And there's no cars allowed. So we took the train. I get off the train. I've got this massive backpack with like full-size toiletries. I've got the shampoo and not experienced backpacker, obviously, whatsoever. And we're getting off the train. I'm walking down the stairs. I'm just looking around, and I'm clumsy by nature, and I wipe out, break my ankle. So it's like, oh my God, I could not move. Like I could not walk. So the ambulance had to take me, like whip through these vineyards to get me to the closest town, to get me to this hospital. And it was during the time of Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And so I'm in the hospital, and I'm like in so much pain. And the doctor lights up a cigarette and he's talking in Italian, but he's obviously knows we're American. And he just starts going on and on about Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And I'm like struggling in pain with this ankle, right? So anyway, long story short, we did not make it the 5 weeks. I lasted about another 7 days, and I walked on the cast everywhere I went, and it was not a walking cast. So I just had holes in it all over the place, and we're like, we got to get out of here. So that was a trip that I needed to make up for, which when I went with my parents was like, it more than made up for it. We just had such a great time. And like memories. I'm huge into memories, obviously, and pictures. So the pictures I have, Daryl, they're like thousands of pictures. So it was quite incredible. So now my dad said, it's hard. I've heard stories growing up from my mom and like how hard they had it kind of growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then my grandpa, deciding to move here or whatever for the better life, that whole thing. But by doing so, they left family there, which, like I said, my mom's 3 male cousins who are like brothers to her. So, when you start thinking about stuff like that, when it's your own family, you're like, God, how hard that had to be, or
Mm-hmm.
how, if we had to do that now, or could I do it, or how would I get through that, all these things. And so when we were there, every time they say goodbye as though it could be the last time they see them. They don't know if they're going to go back. You know what I mean? So that's
Well, you're
hard. It was
talking to somebody who left America and left his
right.
family and friends. Yeah,
Exactly. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So when you go back to wherever it is, you when you say goodbye, you don't know. And they're obviously getting older, and it's like you have no idea what can happen. So now my
Mm-hmm.
dad, who he just turned 78, he said on his 80th birthday, we're going back. So I'm holding him to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's obviously one of my favorite places to go for a million different reasons, but it's great to visit family. Like I said, my only regret is not speaking the language, although this time I found myself like I could understand everything, but to search for the words, I feel like I should have like some sort of hypnosis, because like I know they're in there. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
know they're in there somewhere. I can't find them. So the trying to communicate was really rough, but we managed. So it was good when I went back, with my boyfriend. So, but anyway, that's a whole other story.